Turns out all the White Sox needed was a couple lucky breaks, a rookie making his big league debut, and Eloy Jimenez hitting a dinger, along with Paul DeYoung getting some revenge against his old team to win a series. That's right, the Sox won a road series over the weekend. Let's discuss on Locked On White Sox.
You are Locked On White Sox, your daily Chicago White Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And hello, I'm Todd Welter, a lifelong Sox fan and the site expert of Southside Showdown, part of the Fansided Network. You can check out my written content at southsideshowdown.com. Also, I've covered Major League Baseball for outlets such as the Associated Press. And thanks for making Locked On White Sox your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On podcast, your team every day. And hey, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel at Locked On White Sox. Smash the like button and leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts, as that would be greatly appreciated. You could also hit the follow button there on wherever you get your podcasts. And well, the White Sox started a 3-game set in St. Louis where it looked like it would be more of the same, Sox losing. They were shut out in game 1, 3-0, but they came back to win games 2, 6-5, and game 3, 5-1, partly because somehow the Sox had the better offense, and partly because of taking advantage of some Redbirds miscues. And on Saturday, an umpire that seemed like he wanted to get the heck out of there. We will talk about Game 2's umpire controversy and whether that is a classic example of why the game needs to go to the automated strike zone. Then I'll discuss who is good in the series. And finally, this is the White Sox we're talking about, so that means good news cannot last forever. As word on the street is Mike Clevinger is set to make his season debut tonight. I'll discuss why, yet again, the Sox have the worst timing and why Clevinger pitching this season is just a waste of time. But first, game off. We got to talk more about Monopoly Go. This fast-paced game lets you team up with friends for tournaments to unlock awesome prizes like unique stickers for trading, cool playing pieces, and hilarious emojis for taunting your friends. So download Monopoly Go now free on Google Play or the App Store, and game on. So, hold on, quick coffee slurp there. For those not watching on YouTube and listening on podcasts, as you know, I'm a big coffee drinker, and I'm drinking out of the Sox mug this morning again because, hey, the Sox won a series. Another one, I know. You must be like, what happened? Well, on Friday night, Sonny Gray was absolutely brilliant. The Cardinals ace through 7 strong innings and allowed just 3 hits, no runs, and it was the 9th time the Sox were shut out. 9 times. They were shut out 9 times. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's a classic. And you got that feeling of, here we go again. The Sox will get swept on the road. You know, I did a crossover podcast with Locked On Cardinals on Friday. You know, I told JD, hope you're ready to be 500. And I texted him on Friday, too, saying after the game, you know, the Sox were the get-right team. Although he did warn me that the Cardinals' offense was super bad and the Sox could still do some damage. Well, the Sox did just that on Saturday, winning 6-5 in 10 innings. But what was crazy about that victory was the Sox had to wait 3 hours and then get some help from umpire C.B. Buckner. Cardinals had bases loaded, 2 outs, and Tanner Bakes was the final reliever available for the Sox. He faced Herrera, and he got him to strike out looking on what was ball 2. Yeah, that's right. Banks threw a changeup that was at least 6 inches off the plate, outside, and it was clearly a ball. But C.B. Buckner rung him up. And hey, you take it as a win. I mean, it would have been ball 2 anyways, and maybe Banks gets him on the next pitch. But it was still one of those calls that maybe Buckner wanted to get the heck out of there. He waited 3 hours, and they were trying to get that game in. They had John Breba, I believe he was pitching the 10th, soaking wet. They were trying to get that game done. And then they waited 3 hours for the rain to clear out. And it was like Buckner just wanted to get the heck out of there. Maybe he had dinner reservations. Who knows? But he did grade out according to at Ump Scorecards on X, formerly Twitter. He was a minus 1.5% relative accuracy, plus 1.46 favor to the White Sox. He was 91% overall consistency when the average is 94%. And he also happens to have a history with the Cardinals. And that's why it begs the question, should the robo umps be put in place? Because it's just not human error you need to take into account. Like everybody keeps saying, it's human error. These guys are missing the calls. But it's also human emotion. And again, I'm not saying Buckner hates the Cardinals, but he has had an incident with the Cardinals manager. And that's why, I got to thinking, my thought would be, why not have a compromise? I know they're testing out robo umps, but what I think that it should be is you still have the human element. That should still be into play, because none of that, it takes into play, how are you going to pitch a guy? You got to take into account what the umpire does. It helps with the, for the purists, the strategy of the game. But just be able to appeal, call third strikes, just like they do in tennis when it comes to the ball being out. Quick, you go to the screen, the computer animated screen that shows where the ball tracked. Did it go through the strike zone? It'll take like 2 seconds. And it should only be a called third strike, because every hitter would be challenging every single pitch. And then, yes, you have a problem. But again, you could say, well, if you get down, 0-1, 0-2, that's why you have automated umpires. I understand that argument, because if you get behind in the count, then you're likely to, you have a better chance of getting out, obviously. Totally understand that. Totally understand the money ball thinking. But you want to still have that human element, I think. And also remember, that umpires union is pretty powerful. You can't even play double plays on the scoreboards, because umpires don't want to be challenged. That's a little inside baseball for you. But I know Cardinals fans are very salty about CB Buckner. And hey, you take the wins wherever you can get them. I know some defensive miscues also helped the White Sox in game 2. So hey, things went the Sox way. Who would have thought? Well, we'll talk about who is good in this series next on Locked On White Sox. Are you struggling to close deals? B2B selling is tougher than ever, and that's why I want to tell you about LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So first, what is LinkedIn Sales Navigator? You want to drive higher revenue and increase sales performance? Well, sales intelligence platforms that helps professionals effectively prospect and engage high-value customers. That's LinkedIn Sales Navigator. That means you can use LinkedIn for more than just networking. Why? Well, it helps you target the right buyers, surface key signals, such as job changes or which accounts you should prioritize, and shows you hidden allies so you can find those buyers that are most likely to convert. And right now, you could try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/lockedon. And that's all in caps. That is linkedin.com/lockedon for a 60-day free trial. Hey, I like free trials. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/lockedon and get started. And all right, game off. Game off. I love that part in Wayne's World. We got to pause here to talk more about Monopoly Go. I know what you're saying. Flag on the play. You already talked about that. And hey, They were they're today's sponsor, title sponsor. But there's so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock, and there's so much more to get. Unique stickers you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new pieces to travel with the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting your friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. We all love to talk trash here. And if you don't, you're lying to yourself. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like Digging for Treasure or Robot Panchico Machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go, so get off the bench and go download it now free on Google Play or the App Store. And game on. And are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Well, make the switch to Locked On Sports Today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports Today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And remember, the White Sox play the Tampa Bay Rays tonight at 5:50 p.m. Central. Sox swept the Rays at Guaranteed Rate Field last weekend. Can they get some more wins at the Trop? Catch every pitch of the White Sox hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search White Sox. And welcome back into Locked On White Sox. I'm your host, Todd Welter, and thank you for making the show your first listen of the day. So again, as I talked about in the first segment, the Sox won a series on the road. Maybe they're not so bad after all. Well, they're still pretty bad. But who was good in this series? As you guys know, after every series, I like to go over who was good, because not everything is just gosh awful in Sox land. And yes, I said gosh awful. We got to keep it G-rated here, especially if you're listening to me while you're driving the car and you got your kiddos in the back. I'm not going to drop an F-bomb on you. I mean, there's times I do when the Sox do something bad, but I do want to, but not going to do it. We're going to keep it clean. So Eloy Jimenez, he had a solo shot to break a 1-1 tie in the seventh inning, and that keyed a huge inning for the Sox. They ended up scoring 3 more runs in that inning. And think about it. Eloy was at rock bottom on April 19th. His slash line was 095, 208, 095. Since then, he has a hit in at least 11 of his past 14 games. Garrett Crochet gave us a scare yesterday when he took a liner off his leg, but he was able to stay in the game, only gave up a home run in 6 strong innings. He allowed just 3 hits, struck out 6. He's up to 53 strikeouts now, tied for second in the league. Still has an ERA over 5, but he's got a 1.01 whip. The guy is a dude. He just has to avoid giving up the home run ball in the big inning. Rookie Brian Ramos, he made an outstanding debut yesterday. The Sox 4th best prospect and likely the future at third base. He was called up over the weekend after Danny Mendick had to be placed on the 10-day IL with some back tightness. And the Sox, instead of either forcing a guy to play hurt or playing a man down, decided let's just put the guy on the IL, give him some rest, short stay, and then let's call up a rookie. And let's actually play him. The process is going right. What is this? Ramos went 1 for 3 with an RBI yesterday. And Pedro Grifol said he's going to play. He didn't play on Saturday when he was called up, but they wanted him to take it in. But it sounds like he's going to get, the majority of the playing time until Mendick gets back. Mendick says it should be a short stay. And okay, bring up Ramos, see what he can do. You don't want to rush him. I mean, unless he's just absolutely raking, then keep him. But because Braden Shoemake is struggling to hit. But at the same time, give him his cup of coffee, and let him earn it. Paul DeYoung, he got some revenge on his former team. He was traded away by the Cardinals last season after playing 6.5 seasons with the Birds. Had a great game on Sunday as he went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles, 2 runs, and an RBI. Also added a hit on Saturday. Gavin Sheets, he was 2 for 4 along with a run yesterday. He now has a 270, 362, 460 slash line. We might have to have a serious discussion about Sheets actually being a good ball player. I think that's going to have to be a topic. I know that's been going around in the White Sox social media community. Is Gavin Sheets actually good? That's called a tease. We'll definitely have that discussion. Corey Lee, he had a big game on Saturday, 2 for 4 with 2 RBI, and he seriously needs to be the everyday catcher from here on out. 271 average, 475 slugging percentage. And please designate Martin Maldonado for assignment. He struck out 4 times yesterday. All of his slash numbers, well below 200. You'd be better off just saying, just I'll take the 3 strikes. But the White Sox bullpen bounced back nicely after getting torched by the Minnesota Twins last week. 11 1/3 scoreless innings. Yeah, I'll repeat that. 11 1/3 scoreless innings. Now, part of that is the St. Louis Cardinals offense might actually be worse than the White Sox. And yeah, that was definitely, besides Saturday, that was definitely not a great display of offense. Jared Schuster, though, he saved the bullpen on Friday. 3 1/3 scoreless innings after Brad Keller failed to go late in the game. And that's the other thing that was great about Garrett Crochet's performance. He was actually able to go deep into a game because Eric Fetty on Saturday could not get past the 5th inning. Probably had one of his worst starts of the season. He was charged with all 5 of the Cardinals' runs, but the bullpen was able to keep the Cards scoreless, and then CB Buckner helped him out. But hey, Schuster, a young pitcher, gets a chance to show what he can do. You might think, hey, the Sox might want to give him an extended look. He's actually pitched okay. I think I incorrectly said that he was struggling. He made 2 appearances earlier this season, was all right. Got sent back down. He's back up again. He was being stretched out. I don't know if you want to actually try him out as a starter, but he's still 25. But no. This is the Chicago White Sox. And he might be the candidate to be sent down because it sounds like Mike Clevinger is on his way. And I'll discuss him returning to the White Sox next on Locked On White Sox. All right, if I can go back and talk to 25-year-old me, I would have told myself to invest more, find ways to make my money work for me. Thankfully, a few years back, I made a career change in the 9-to-5 world, and I had to move a 401k from that company into an IRA. So how do I keep up to date on my investments? Yahoo Finance gives me the news, the data, and tools I need to track the information on my investment accounts. And I have investment accounts in 2 different places, but I get everything I need on Yahoo Finance. I become a better investor because I don't need to have special access on Yahoo Finance. All the information, all the news, it's not like a special subscription required. No, it's all right there. And it's written in a way that I don't need a doctorate in microeconomics to understand. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or looking for that extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. They are the #1 finance destination, producing a holistic look at financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analysis ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. Did I mention it's easy to understand? Securely link your brokerage accounts for a unified view of your wealth, including 401k and other investments. Comprehensive perspective is what sets apart great investors. And it's how Yahoo Finance ensures you have the insight to look at your wealth in its entirety. With a community over 90 million users each month, their real strength is helping you on your way to financial success. For a comprehensive financial news and analysis, and well-written content, again, that you don't need an economics degree to understand, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com. The number one financial destination, yahoofinance.com. That's yahoofinance.com. And welcome back into Locked On White Sox, your team every day. I am your host, Todd Welter, and hope you had a good weekend. Mine was all right. Saturday pretty much was kind of a lazy day. Sunday went to a Cinco de Mayo party, which was pretty fun. And I was also wrestling with what should I do in this third segment. The White Sox, it sounds like, are leaving NBC Sports Chicago. And the company that they're going to use to help them put together a new network along with the Bulls and the Blackhawks is out of Nashville. And I was like, is that a sign that the Sox are possibly moving to Nashville? Well, it would also mean that, are the Bulls moving? Is Nashville getting a second hockey team? So I don't want to get too much into the conspiracy theories, especially Sox Machine. I believe it was Jim Margulis, who lives in Nashville. He kind of did some digging on this company that they're going to use. Drove around their corporate offices. So you should check that out, soxmachine.com. Sox Machine. But then I saw the news. Scott Merkin, he tweeted this out at Scott Merkin. Nothing officially confirmed by the White Sox, but barring something extremely surprising, Mike Clevinger starts Monday against the Rays. And I wrestled, do I want to give Mike Clevinger the time of day? On a weekend where the Sox did a lot of good, they're going to bring up one of the most polarizing pitchers in baseball. So White Sox. And for a couple reasons. Let's start off with the allegations that surrounded Mike Clevinger when he came to the White Sox. And I got this again from the LA Times. The allegations against Clevinger initially surfaced on Instagram last month. Olivia Feinstein, I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name there. She said that she was the mother of Clevinger's 10-month-old daughter and accused Clevinger of, quote, physical, verbal, and emotional abuse, end quote, and said she filed a police report. She claimed Clevinger threw an iPad at her when she was pregnant, strangled her, and threw chewing tobacco on their child. Feinstein also posted a photo with alleged injuries she said she suffered. She later told The Athletic that Clevinger slapped her in a hotel when the Padres, Clevinger's former team, were facing the Dodgers last June. In a statement shortly after the allegations were made public, Clevinger's lawyers said the pitcher emphatically denies the accusations. And this, again, was from the LA Times back last year. And again, Clevinger was confident that he'd be fully exonerated. And I know someone on X with the Olivia Feinstein Twitter handle rehashed some more stuff. I can't verify if that's actually her based on like the one follower count, all that. Her Instagram account, though, makes no mention of rehashing anything on this lately. But again, he was accused of some serious abuse. Now, Major League Baseball did not discipline him under the MLB's joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policy, but he did voluntarily agree to submit to evaluations by the treatment boards that cover domestic violence and drugs of abuse, and also agreed to comply with any recommendation those boards make. Now, I remember at the time, because I wasn't happy about this. I'm sorry. I'm not happy. I'm not thrilled with a accused domestic violence abuser there being on my baseball team. I remember people at the time saying, see, he was cleared. No, to me, that's a plea deal. They had something, but not enough to reach a suspension. And also, I remember Olivia being on 670 The Score saying, why would I bring up these accusations and try to ruin him financially when she needs him to make a living to at least help support their daughter? Just think about that. And again, if you want to understand truly why it feels gross to have him back on the team, check out SouthsideSox.com. They have a really good, concise piece right on the homepage explaining why. And you could be thinking, well, okay, Snowflake, I'm sorry. Do you like defending a guy like that? Especially a guy who had no regard for team rules in 2020. You can have your opinion on how the pandemic was handled, but there were team rules in place that everybody had to follow. And Mike Clevinger thought he didn't have to follow them, broke COVID protocols. And the team said, get up out of here. The teammates. Here's another reason why it's just a waste of time. Besides his character issues, he's a 33-year-old pitcher with no value on the trade or free agent market. He was placed on waivers last August, and he had a solid season. That's what all his defenders keep telling me. But he was placed on waivers, and no one wanted him. 29 other teams didn't want him. Now, some of that was the money on his contract, but he was a 2.2 F4 player. He finished with 2.2 F4. And a lot of his defenders like to cite that, especially the Sox. They like to cite how he had a solid season. And all it would have taken was money to add him. And a contender was like, nah, we're good. We don't need him. He's not going to put us over the top. And then he was on the free agent market through April 4th before the Sox decided to bring him back. That's an entire offseason and spring training. No one wanted him. And he declined his option. He thought he could probably get something on the market. And no, the White Sox are the only team that value him. And it's a lost season. We should be seeing what Jonathan Cannon, Nick Nastrini, heck, Jared Schuster, we should be seeing what they do. Give them an extended look. Help with their development. Because I know you just got the feeling this is what the White Sox are thinking. It's like with the Tommy Pham situation. But here's the thing. Tommy Pham, yeah, he's had some issues with Jock Peterson, but that was over a fantasy football dispute. But Tommy Pham, for the most part, people have said, is a good clubhouse guy. And while Mike Clevinger doesn't have reported issues with the White Sox, he has been a bad clubhouse guy. And this season was supposed to be about improving the clubhouse. And also this season, again, should be about who are the players that are going to help us going forward. And trust me, Mike Clevinger, unless he just looks like Cy Young out there, is probably not going to fetch you back a return. And I know that's what I got that in my bones, that the White Sox think that he's going to pitch well and somebody's going to want him. And again, twice teams were like, no, thank you. All 29 other teams. Well, that wraps up this edition of Locked On White Sox. Before I go, Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube, and now it's also available on Amazon Fire TV in the free Fire TV channels app. Locked On Sports Today is here for you 24/7, covering the top sports stories of the day with local experts of Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. Find Locked On Sports Today now available on the free Fire TV channels app. And also, again, the White Sox, they play the Tampa Bay Rays tonight at 5:50 p.m. Central. The Sox swept the Rays at Guaranteed Rate Field last weekend. Can they get some more wins at the Trop? Catch every pitch of the White Sox hometown broadcast with SiriusXM on the SXM app. Search White Sox. And we'll be back on tomorrow. Hopefully the Sox have avoided the revenge from the Rays. Either way, we'll discuss some more White Sox baseball tomorrow. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at Locked On White Sox. Smash that like button and give a 5-star review on wherever you get your podcasts. And let me know your thoughts on today's topics regarding the robo-umps, who was good in the weekend series, and Mike Clevinger rejoining the team on Twitter at ToddJDub, or email me at lockedonwhitesox@gmail.com. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.